Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you to Council approved for extra special happy Easter, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the week and weekend with family and friends. Item number 2 on the agenda this morning: discuss and take possible action on approval of payroll number 7 for the period ending March 31st, 2023.
Will we approve payroll number 7?
And I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to approve payroll number 7. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 3, discuss and take possible action on approval of personnel action forms.
First one's Cassie Thatcher, going from part-time to full-time in the book office. Second one is Robert Seth Dixon, elimination of position. The next one is Ernesto Alejandro, increase in approved slot. Sarah Minnick, increase in approved slot. Rachel Ramirez, increase in approved slot. New hire, Orion McLeod, deputy. Increase in slot, Brianna Ramos, dispatch. Increase in slot, the next 4 are for CDL, Joseph Farrell, Eddie Hernandez, Darren Kelly, Juan Rodriguez. 2 resignations, Garrett Emerson, PDO. 3 resignations. Garrett Emerson, Kimberly Nichols, and James Scott Sullivan, all PDO.
Have a motion and a second that we approve the personnel action forms. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Agenda item number 4, discuss and take possible action on implementing an emergency management internship program. And our emergency management coordinator, Mr. Chadwick, is going to come forward.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. I'd like to give an opportunity as well for our HR Director, though, to make any comments, because she's been able to look through all the information. This is an internship program that I've developed and managed over about the last 12 years. It's for an unpaid internship, so that there's no cost out of pocket for us. The investment on us, of course, is investment of time, but what it does is it takes people and builds them up in the skills required to be able to do this kind of work. We've had some really good success for it in the past. One of my most recent interns just was hired for the village of Ruidoso in New Mexico. And there's also an opportunity to partner with DOD because they have a program called Skill Bridge, where if they have people who are looking at getting out in the next 6 months, they actually assign them to work for you for 6 months. And so that's a free employee for about 6 months to be able to help us out and do some things, but also to provide them with some skills.
You personally would be good with the training?
Yes, sir.
As fast as they're going, they don't somebody else.
The other thing, Commissioner, is we can use this as a platform for training some local volunteers to be able to work specifically in emergency management and to be an augmentation for us.
I'll move that we implement the emergency management internship program.
I have a motion and a second that we implement the emergency management internship program. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 5, County Auditor Monthly Report.
Good morning, Commissioners. So the report in front of you is for the beginning of April 2023. And just as per normal, the comparison from April 2022 to April 2023, you can see our cash on hand. And then, of course, the breakdown of each of the funds, the beginning balance for March, and then our position in April, and all the breakdowns. Something to note is we did receive funds for the opioid settlement. Can't say that word. The 15, where you see fund number 14, it's at the very top. And we have received $15,000 so far for that.
Do we know what the total projected for the
I believe it's $48,000. The last page is, of course, the warrant schedule, beginning April 2023.
Anybody have anything else on it? Anything else for them on that? We'll move on to item number 6, discuss and take possible action on approval of line item transfers.
Okay, the first line item transfer is for, actually, I think we only have one, is for Constable Precinct 2. And he'll be transferring monies out of office supplies and equipment line into repair and maintenance vehicles. And that's so that he can, at the bottom, like it says, to remove old vehicle graphics and install new vehicle graphics.
I'll second that.
I have a motion to second to approve the line item transfers. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 7, discuss and take possible action on approval of budget amendments.
So we do have one budget amendment, and this is where we had originally budgeted items for the 911 reimbursement in the 110 fund, and we're basically amending it to go to the 12 fund.
Approve the budget amendment.
Second. Motion and a second that we approve the budget amendment. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Motion carries. Item number 8, discuss and take possible action on approval of accounts payable.
Yes, the total is $2,071,756.42. We have one wire transfer, and all of the AP invoices over $10,000 on the cover page.
Commissioners, if I may, there is an invoice in here for 316 remodeling, and Edward just wanted me to mention that there was a change order on that. It was for the remodeling, the Castroville building, but even though we did receive a quote, the change order included, we went ahead and approved that. I just wanted to let y'all know. It was for, I think it was for $5,000.
I think that was the glass.
Oh, the glass.
Was that the glass?
I think so.
Castroville?
I think so.
Okay, that was in the tax office.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the tax office.
I think it was it.
Mr. Lewis wants to, yes. You know, it all cost $351, put in two.
Everybody had a chance to review or? Take motion somewhere.
I'll move that we approve the accounts payable with no exceptions.
I have a motion and a second. We approve the accounts payable with no exceptions to it. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item number 10, discuss and take possible action on approval of county treasurer's monthly report.
We skipped one.
Number 9.
Item 9.
I apologize, I skipped one.
Nine.
Okay, I'm sorry. Discuss and take possible action on approval of disbursements of funds since last commissioner's court meeting.
Yes, the total amount of utilities paid since the last commission report, $10,780.72.
Make a motion to approve, disperse the funds since last commission's report, solid utilities.
Second.
I have a motion and a second that we approve the disbursements of funds since the last court. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item number 10, discuss and take possible action on approval of county treasurer's monthly report.
Yes, this is for the month of February of 2023. Total of the Medina County combined funds is $34,714,211.67. Total debt owed by Medina County is $25,025,427. The only reports missing are March of 2022 through January of 2023 for the district clerk, January 2023 the county clerk criminal, and for county clerk civil, October 2021 through January of 2023.
That'd be the only thing, I know we talk about this every single year, on the liability accounts, on the unclaimed monies. Is there any way we clean that line up and just give it to somebody, one of our departments?
We have statutes we have to follow on those ones. We, once a year, give some of it to the state, and I believe some of it.
We can give it anywhere besides the state. Food bank or something.
Sorry. But they only take it, I think, if it's over $100.
a motion and a second to approve the monthly treasurer's report. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do we have any visitors' comments today? Are you visiting?
Morning.
Sir?
I'm visiting, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, at this time, we will recess until 10 o'clock. Thank you. All right, really, everybody, and welcome back to the Commissioners Court. It is 10 o'clock, and we will resume the regular meeting of the court. We'll take up item number 13, presentation of the grant award from Castroville Walmart to the Sheriff's Office for K-9. And I think we have all our special guests with us, including the K-9. So, might stay away from it. If you smell like your dog, don't go close to Excellent.
Ready to get started.
Let me just.
Thank you, everybody.
So we want to thank Walmart. We appreciate y'all. We're actually adding a third dog as we speak that's coming from Lackland. So we're going to have 3 canines on the street, and more importantly, in our schools to try to, we don't go to schools trying to catch people doing bad things. We go to schools trying to keep people from coming there and doing bad things. And that's the whole purpose of the canines at the schools, is to try to deter, and then we'll try to catch them on the street and keep it out of schools. So that's our mission, our goal with the canines. I appreciate Jerry and Ricky. They've done a really good job. Jesse Mike will be the 3rd canine. We'll pick that dog up sometime next week. And it's a shepherd breed also. So.
Are these breeds, because these gonna be for the county or mainly for schools?
No, these are county-wide.
County-wide.
Every school, county.
We'll have access to them.
Yes. We back up DPS, Department of Public Safety, different ones. They call them canines, and we respond also.
Right.
City police call, we go to the cities with them, so they're for county-wide.
So Sheriff, why don't you let each one of the handlers tell us a little something about their dog?
Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
So, this is Kayleen Shea. She's a Dutch Shepherd. It's a brand of color, different from a German Shepherd and a Belgian Malinois. That's what Zero is. So she's 6 years old. She's trained for patrol, detection, narcotics. Patrol will be, say, for example, if a suspect goes inside a house, we'll stay behind, we'll sit in shade, and she'll detect where the suspect is. Also, we assisted Border Patrol in tracking down the migrant, so we can locate whenever we have a bailout, they talk out running. So we'll deploy shade so she can lead us to the humans. Narcotics, heroin, meth, cocaine, and marijuana. So she's certified and trained on all that. That's shade.
Good morning, Deputy Thomas. This is K9 Zira. K9 Zira and I have been together since September of last year. She just turned 2 years old. She's a Belgian Malinois. You can tell the difference in a 2-year and a 6-year temperament. She is strictly narcotic certified and working right now. We are working on her with tracking. She's same thing as K9 Shea. She's certified in marijuana, heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine. Just building her up right now, and her and I are still learning together a lot right now.
Recently, a suspicious vehicle parked in a place it shouldn't have been, and deputies responded, K9s were requested, K9 alerted. That little suspicious vehicle call turned into over 2 pounds of methamphetamines that were taken off the streets.
thank y'all very much. Thank you to Walmart. We appreciate y'all, appreciate the donation, and I have no thank you for what you do. The two dogs, it's funny, I didn't know they were 6 years old, but they're kind of like 2-year-old kids, because this one over here likes to slobber on you and lick all over you. And this one over here just snarls its teeth at you, so. You do not want to be on officer's car over here, because this dog will go crazy in there, so. I know from personal experience. I actually opened the door and started to get in his vehicle one day, and I'm lucky I'm here. Thank y'all. I appreciate you. All right, next item we have is item number 14, Safety Awards presentation to Medina County that we received from the Texas Association of Counties, and I'm just going to give you a small part of the letter they sent. It just says, congratulations on behalf of the Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool. We are pleased to inform you that Medina County was selected to receive a 2022 Safety Achievement Award. This notable achievement is only given to those TAC and Risk Management Pool Workers' Compensation Program participants that met the program's criteria, demonstrating a strong and committed to maintaining a safe workplace. So, Linda, Matt, Christy. Do you have some more that you'd like to say about that?
No.
We're all saying, I'll let you get the award first.
I mean, I talk all the time, so.
And have everybody at the table, please. Thank you. Thank you.
One more.
One more, I didn't get the judge in there, he's sitting behind the back.
That's okay. Pat has me.
It's not a good idea to hide the judge. Sorry about that. Excellent, thank you.
Quickly, I'd like to say something. We get this award, we can't take credit for it. It's the employees of the county that are paying attention, not violating their safety rules and trying to stay safe and healthy. That's how we get this. Thank you.
So Glenda, this is Glenda from HR, and then Pat and Brett and Christy from our Environmental Floodplain Administration Office, and they all attended the risk management, the banquet where this was presented. And I did get an additional letter from TAC that I hadn't been able to share with them yet that said we almost lost this safety award due to the way they danced. And that there was some pretty bad risk taken.
That was all Pat.
Yes. Yeah, it was Pat was the All right, next we are going to do our Employee Service Award presentations. Linda, are you coming up with Linda?
Yeah, I'll help you.
Just want to make sure I don't know diamonds and cubic zirconias and all that. So make sure we get it
You
right.
made yours.
Yes. Yeah, Jared wasn't in though, so we went next door. Okay, service awards. This first one is for Mark Trevino. There he is, Mark. 10 years of service with Medina County. Mark and I worked together for a long time, and I've got a picture that he sent me yesterday that he photoshopped of me, and if I'd have known that, he wouldn't have got his award today. And I'm not telling a lie, it is the truth, so. Good work. Good work, sir. Never send one of those again, please. Okay, next we have for 10 years also Jennifer Konegi. Do I say her last name right?
No. Say it for us.
Konegi. Okay. Well, before you get your 15 here, I'll have your name correct. There you go. All right, 10 years, Deborah Southwell. Congratulations. We made it. We made it. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. 10 years, James Chavelski. All right. This year's a long time.
And I thought he'd come to see us, Commissioner.
He did.
No brand new car?
Not today. Jared didn't have any.
Thank you.
Jan, Jared's coming up, you want to take this with you?
No, I'll stick that one.
15 years, Joe Flirty. Excellent.
I need to be back.
Movie star.
Yeah, she's got her own photo group with her. 15 years, Angie Zapata. Quit flashing.
Thank you.
15 years, Lena Parrish. As long as you keep it on the floor, don't try to use it on me. Excellent.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Armando Gonzalez, 15 years. Congratulations. Appreciate you. Leonard Zinsmeyer, 15 years. Congratulations. Thank you. 20 years, Mark Havey.
Started when I was 16.
Yes, that's what I would say.
Well, excuse me.
Sorry, Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. Now we know why they showed up at the couch.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Glenn.
He's not, okay, 25 years, Isaac Lopez, 25 years, and he is not here today, so, but 25. Yes, that'd be great. Can we get everybody that's got an award to come up in front of the dais and we'll get a group photo?
Stand in front of me then.
Y'all are gonna have to get a lot regular than this. I don't have a wide angle lens here.
Not only the dogs back and put them in each.
Yeah.
If you all will turn on this side with your left shoulder, not quite
Not
that
your
far,
weapon.
with your left shoulder out. And you're still gonna have to move this way a little more, and people over here with your right shoulder out.
Not HR close, just close.
Just friendly.
All right, thank you again, everybody. All right, next up, we have item number 16. Discussing a possible action on proclaiming April 29th through May 9th of 2023 as Soil and Water Stewardship Week. And we have our members with us today from the Medina Valley Soil and Water Conservation District. Do y'all want to go ahead and come on up front? And I'll read the proclamation. So the proclamation reads, whereas healthy soil and clean water is a benefit to everyone, and whereas effective conservation practices provide the soil, water, animals, plants, and air that can ensure a rich standard of living, and whereas our security depends upon the robust management of natural resources, and whereas stewardship calls for each person to help conserve these precious resources. Therefore, I do hereby proclaim April 30th to May 7th, 2023 as Soil and Water Stewardship Week. So we'll get a photo of you. Awesome, thank you so much. Okay, item number 17. This is a presentation of our fiscal year 2021-2022 outside audit by Teal Brown and Hill. Did you want to speak first?
Sorry.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. How's everybody doing this morning? Good. Well, my name's Travis Rogers. I am a CPA with Patillo Brown and Hill, based out of Waco. Just here this morning just to share with you guys the results of the fiscal year 2022 audit and cover a couple of quick highlights in the annual financial report, which you each have a hard copy and an electronic copy of. Also, if any of you want to follow along, the page numbers I'll be referencing will be in the hard copy. just a quick FYI. So to start off very quickly, at the beginning on page 1, our independent auditor's report is the same good old report I know each of you has seen probably at least 20 times before, covers all the same basic information. There was a nationwide auditing standards change in the last year. The order of how the letter is laid out has changed slightly, but it's all the same basic information about our responsibility as your auditors, the responsibility of management, etc. Big changes here. Now, instead of being buried on the second page, the audit opinion, they decided to spoil it and put it at the very top of the first page, which is, you'll see under report on audit of the financial statements, under opinions, says, in our opinion, the accompanying financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position for governmental activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information as of and for the year ended September 30th, 2022, which basically means what we call an unmodified or clean opinion, which is the highest level of assurance we can provide, meaning no issues or material departures from GAAP were noted as a part of our audit. One other change you'll notice that we draw attention to in our auditor's report, a couple of paragraphs down where it says emphasis of matter. This isn't the result of any issues or concerns, it's just drawing attention to a accounting principle change during the year. During the past year, the Government Auditing Standards Board implemented a new standard regarding leases, essentially changing the criteria and the definition of what constitutes a lease for cities, counties, and other local governments, bringing it essentially a little bit more in line with the for-profit accounting world. The only agreements that were recognized as leases by the county in accordance with this new standard were the tower agreements for Dunlay and Zumwalt, those two large agreements, and they have no net effect on financial position as of year end. It's just essentially recognizing those leased towers as an asset shown by the county and an offsetting liability. So the net effect was 0 to net position as of year end. Only other kind of significant change worth mentioning on page 9, you'll see under assets.
If you don't mind, just we do have a couple of new court members, so just to make sure that when you refer to the Zumwalt and the Dunley are both sheriff's office radio communication sites. The one's up at Micro, it was Zumwalt's property, and then the other one is your Dunley there on the water, like the water settlement area. So those are the two towers that he's talking about. Thank you.
Page 9, nothing else really significant change during this year except for, you will notice under assets on page 9, we have a new item this year called a net pension asset. Essentially, that is the same as normally a net pension liability reported related to the county's participation in TCDRS. Essentially, for the plan year ended December 31st, 2021, TCDRS's plan assets had a really good year, and so the total value of those assets, it basically exceeded the total amount of the pension liability system-wide. Therefore, the county reported a net pension asset. Now, that was as of the end of 2021. Market conditions have changed somewhat in the intervening time, so there's a decent chance by December 31st, 2022, that pendulum may have swung back the other way. But you've probably noticed in the past it kind of a roller coaster, kind of fluctuates up and down over time. But as of the end of fiscal year 2022, the county's portion reported as a net asset, not as a net liability. I'm sorry? Yes, sir. The one other thing we thought I would point out very quickly on page 14, you see what we call the income statement for all of the county's major funds for the year. First column on the left is the general or main operating fund. You can see down at the bottom, county added about 1.6 million in fund balance to the general fund as a result of operations during fiscal year 2022, bringing total fund balance for the general fund to about 17.3 million. If you compare that to total expenditures for the year, even if you take out capital outlay of about $864,000, that's still roughly about 20 million in expenditures in the general fund for the year, which means looking at ending fund balance, you have close to a year's worth of general fund expenditures in fund balance. Pretty general rule of thumb for local governments like counties is 3 to 6 months is a good reserve. So if you have 9, 10 months or so, that means you're in excellent health financially and you're in no danger of running out of money anytime soon.
Do you have any idea how many counties out of 254 have that type of reserve?
As an exact number or percentage, I don't know an exact figure right off the top of my head, but as far as we definitely do work with counties and other governments that have significantly less, and definitely you can reach a point, obviously, where you don't want to have too much of a reserve, but having a solid reserve of 6 months or more, sometimes maybe 9 or 10 months, definitely indicates that you're well set up to deal with any change in circumstances that arises in the next year or two as a result of. Hopefully we're done with global pandemics for a little while, but in any situation that arises in the coming few years, the county should be very well set up to and equipped to deal with financially. Yes, sir. One other thing I will point out, back more towards the end of the report, starting on page 78, basically pages 78 through 81 are a couple of other letters we issue as a part of our audit, one in accordance with government auditing standards, and the other one as a result of our federal single audit in accordance with the uniform guidance. So essentially each of these letters is high level. The letter for government auditing standards just summarizes our requirements to consider the county's compliance with laws, regulations, grant agreements, so on and so forth as part of our audit. If there were any findings or issues in that regard, we would disclose them here, but happy to say there are none. Same thing with the next report. In accordance with the uniform guidance, this just summarizes the results of our federal single audit over the county's grant expenditures, which essentially any entity that expends $750,000 or more of federal funds during the year, we go in and based on certain criteria, test certain programs or a certain percentage of the total, go in, select samples of transactions to look at for our audit, so on and so forth. And again, same as with the opinion letter on the financial statements, we rendered an unmodified or clean opinion on the county's federal single audit, which means no non-compliance, no findings or concerns, etc. You can see the breakdown of those federal expenditures are on page 82, and a summary of the results of our audit are on page 84. Just names essentially were there any findings, issues, so on and so forth, and the program we tested was the 21.027 or the ARPA program, which seems to be increasingly common these days as a result of COVID. One other thing to point out very quickly, this is in the other letter, the required communication with governance. Essentially, this is just kind of a standard letter of items we are required to communicate with you, the governing body, in accordance with auditing standards. I always say if you're ever awake at night having trouble falling asleep, just go read through this thing line by line, and that will more than likely do the trick. But I thought very quickly one thing I would point out about midway down on page 2 of that letter where it says significant risks identified. This was a new section that's required nationwide based on a new auditing standard in the past year. And essentially all a significant risk means is that as us, your auditor, we're identifying at the beginning of our audit what are areas that are potentially more complex or risky, or areas that we might want to give special consideration to as a part of our audit. That doesn't indicate that an issue was found during the audit that we discovered there's a problem here, we need to look into it more. This just means at the outset, we're kind of coming up with our game plan for our audit and identifying, are there areas we should maybe document how a certain risk was overcome. You'll see the first where it says management override of controls. That's a really harsh term. It sounds like when you read it out loud, but essentially where we say inherent fraud risk, that just means under auditing standards, that is a presumptive risk for all entities that we audit, that we, as the auditors, simply have to document how that presumptive risk was overcome and how we determined it wasn't an issue. Then kind of the same thing with leases below. There's a big new accounting standard for the year. We're just documenting, yes, this is how we ensured the county implemented it correctly and that there were no issues, so on and so forth. Like I said, just something we as the auditors consider that we are beginning this year required to disclose as a part of this letter. So I think that was kind of the quick and dirty on all of that, kind of hit the high points, but if anyone has any questions or comments, concerns, etc., while I'm here, I would be happy to assist or
if not,
and would definitely like to thank Edward and Ruby and their entire staff for all their help. And I know they have a lot going on that has nothing to do with us, but they made the process go very smoothly this year, and it wouldn't have been possible without them. So thank you guys.
Yes, I just wanted to, as you know, this is a huge component of our office, is the annual audit, and so we're very proud of the results. And I wanted to thank PB&H for all their hard work, and it's something that you may not notice, but our office is always focused, at least from the end of January to we need to get this report done by the end of March. So our normal operations are still going, and then we're in the middle of audit. So we appreciate your patience throughout that time. We thank PB&H. And also I wanted to recognize our staff too, because without their hard work, we wouldn't have the great results that we have, from Rachel, who handles all the assets, to Sarah, who this year handled the GASB requirement and does the accounts payable audit, to Ernesto, who handles our payroll audit as well, and Beverly, of course, that handles our grants. So everybody has, every aspect of the audit has these huge components that we have to make sure that is correct so that we can have these good results to help us, have the county in good financial position. And of course, all the elected officials and their management of the budget as well helps. Any questions that we have is so that we can have this good result. We're not trying to be annoying or anything, but it's so that when the auditors come out, you hear us say that quite often, that we do have these good results. Every elected official, our financial team also, human resources and the treasurer's office have really helped throughout the year also. So I just wanted to thank all the officials for their hard work, and as well any department heads that contribute for this audit to be successful.
Thank you, and thank you on behalf of us to everybody involved, because I know it is a really big team effort to get it all done. And so thank you, and it's fantastic to have that kind of a report. So thanks. All right, so we will move to item number 18, public hearing to receive comment regarding the application to vacate replat lot 12 of UTR subdivision unit 1 located in precinct 1 off of County Road 340. So this is a public hearing, and I'm going to open the public hearing at 10:34 a.m. Do we have anybody here to speak? Comments? All right, then I will close the public hearing at 10:34. Item number 19, discuss and take possible action on final approval of vacate replat lot 12 of UPR subdivision located at precinct 1 off of County Road 340.
Good morning. I'm Kim from Rhodian Associates, and we're seeking final approval to replat tract 12 of Tierra subdivision as shown on the plat. It does meet the requirements.
We give final approval of vacate and replat lot 12.
Sure. Have a motion and a second that we do final approval of vacate replat lot 12 UPR subdivision in precinct 1. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 20, discuss and take possible action on preliminary approval of vacate and replat a portion of lot 24 of San Antonio Trust subdivision located in precinct 3 off of FM 463.
Yeah, this is part of the San Antonio Trust. It's the big irrigation district area down there in the north of Medina County and Idle. All of these lots are fronting 463. Which is the farm market road. There's one flag lot that's got the required portion of 463. East Medina is providing water for them. We have to go to them. What we don't have is any kind of information on contact with TxDOT about having entrance ways along 463.
I can tell you what this one is.
We're going to do the preliminary. I'm going to make a motion that we approve the preliminary, but we're not going to do the final until we get something from them that says that this is going to work out as far as TxDOT is concerned. So I'm going to make a motion that we approve the preliminary vacated replat for lot 24 San Antonio Trust subdivision.
Have a motion and a second to approve the preliminary plat for vacate replat of the San Antonio Trust subdivision lot 24. Any other discussion?
All I'm telling you is good luck with TxDOT, because I'm having a line road right now. They're going to hold you 450 feet for acre.
Okay.
And for good reason.
Which number is this?
20. Number 20.
I can't even get enough for school.
What's that?
Did we do not 19?
Yes. Yes, we did. It was approved. 19 was approved.
Okay, I missed that.
Okay, and any other discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 21, discuss and take possible action on final approval of the following units in Hunter's Ranch subdivision, Unit 16B and 18A.
Morning, Commissioners. Morning, Judge. My name is Andrew Ortega with MTR Engineers, here today seeking final plat approval for Hunter's Ranch, Unit 16B, Unit 18A. Both of these projects are located within the City of San Antonio ETJ, so we've met all their platting requirements. All the infrastructure is complete. The county accepted both maintenance bonds for the projects last meeting, so we're looking for final plat approval and hoping to record as well.
You want to do one at a time, or you want to go ahead and do A and B? Yeah, I've been over there with it all, everything is fantastic. I will make a motion that we approve the following units in Hunter's Ranch subdivision, Unit A and B.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for final approval of the Unit 16B and 18A in the Hunter's Ranch subdivision. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Number 22, discuss and take possible action on acceptance of construction bond number 0832495 for Valley Oaks subdivision phase 2 located in precinct 1.
Yeah, this is, the Southern Developments, they do this with every phase they do. So I'm gonna be, it's spending money to finish it, so I'm gonna give, approval for the maintenance bond.
Okay. Have a motion and second to accept the construction bond number 0832495 for Valley Oaks subdivision phase 2. Any other discussion?
Is this like having 125% or 25% contingency? Is that included in this amount?
Yes.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 23, discuss and take possible action on acceptance of community-wide housing analysis performed regarding impediments to fair housing for Medina County.
Good morning. This is a new requirement. I just need to read this, and there's no other action is required. But the Texas Department of Agriculture requires, it's a new requirement that they have. In the backup attached, you will see an analysis of your community's fair housing and data on factors that impact fair housing in a community, such as disability, race, and ethnicity. TDA supports affirmatively furthering fair housing and has opted to have a scoring element that requires conducting an activity in support of AFFH. This analysis is done in support of your upcoming 2023-2024 Community Development Grant with the Texas Department of Agriculture, TDA. TDA's CDBG Community Development Grant is a HUD-based grant source which encourages developing fair housing to communities. TDA requires applicants to support affirmatively furthering fair housing, AFFH, and upholding the 1968 Fair Housing Act. The Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination based on disability, familial status, race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Housing, race, ethnicity, and disability data comes from the U.S. Census, either the 2010 decennial data or the 2017 to 2021 American Community Survey data. The low-income housing analysis comes from the Public Housing Authority. The last section briefly discusses possible impediments to fair housing in your community. With this, the analysis is complete and should satisfy TDA's requirement. We ask that you accept this analysis in support of the upcoming TDA grant.
All right. Somebody like to make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to accept community-wide housing analysis.
Second. I have a motion and a second to accept the community-wide housing analysis. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 24, discuss and take possible action on approval, ratification of contract number juvenile 2023-125 with Cameron County Juvenile Justice Department, Amador R. Rodriguez Juvenile Boot Camp and Educational Center for Juvenile Residential Services.
Good morning. Just two of our contracts that, well, there's both of them, two of our contracts that we're looking at for upcoming possible placements. These two facilities will probably be put on our list for upcoming years to just renew. So these are new placements.
Excellent. So on the first one, I have a motion for the first center.
Is this another place to say again?
Yes, sir.
So it sounds, instead of my son being in prison, he's at boot camp this week?
Yes, sir.
Makes it sound perfect, right?
That sounds good. I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the ratification of contract number JUV 2023-125 with Cameron County.
Boot camp.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Next item is item 25, discuss and take possible action on approval or ratification of interlocal agreement with El Paso County Juvenile Board for post-adjudicated juvenile housing. So another agreement.
Another agreement, very similar to the last.
Move we approve the ratification of interlocal agreement with El Paso County.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ratification of interlocal agreement with El Paso County Juvenile Board. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And as always, if y'all ever have any questions on any of these, just give me a call. Huh? You're welcome. Thank you.
Item number 26, discuss and take possible action on approval of the resolution authorizing submission of 2024 Indigent Defense Improvement Grant Program application for the Hill Country Regional Public Defender's Office.
Hello, this is a resolution to apply for this application to the Texas Department of Indigent Defense Commission for the PDM. So we're in the process. This is just a requirement that TIDC requires this resolution to be approved by the court. I haven't started the application process yet, and I wanted to get this done before, and then once y'all approve it, then I'll start on it, because it is due May 3rd. I'm sorry, hold on. May 8th is when the application is due.
I'll move to approve the resolution.
Have a motion and a second to approve the resolution authorizing submission of the 2024 Indigent Defense Improvement Grant Program. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 27, discuss and take possible action on authorization to apply for the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services, known as COPS, hiring program. Chief.
Yeah. Good morning. As it states, we're seeking authorization just to go and apply for the grant. And it'll be earmarked under COPS, Community Policing.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. I have a motion and a second that we authorization to apply for the U.S. Department of Justice COPS grant. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 28, discuss and take possible action on authorization to apply for the fiscal year 2023 State Criminal Alien Assistance Program grant.
Been requesting permission to apply.
I'll make it really easy. If there's anything else, we get free money for.
Okay. Yes, I have, and we're actually working on it now. I had to get something back to TDM this week regarding the trailers with the barricades and the cones. I haven't heard if it's approved or not, but it is in the process.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 29, discuss and take possible action on approval of lease with maintenance agreement with Toshiba Business Solutions.
We're actually asking to table that item.
Okay. All right, we will table 29. Item number 30, discuss and take possible action on approval of interlocal cooperation contract e-dispatch system. Okay, so this is actually, we did a new interlocal agreement and had it signed. We've been doing this since 2019, I believe, if I remember correctly. And so this is where we do the e-dispatch, which is how the first responders, fire, EMS get their notifications about calls. And we did this to complete one big master account and save the money. Well, there's been quite a few changes. When we originally did that, for example, ESD 1, we had an agreement, part of that agreement was each one of the 3 individual fire departments. Well, now ESD 1 handles that on their behalf. So this is actually cleaning that up. There's not near as many parties involved in it now, which also how we split the money and how they pay the bill is your second sheet on there. So this is just a new agreement. Nothing changes other than the fact that we cleaned up all the parties involved.
Make a motion to approve the interlocal corporation contract with dispatches.
I'll start that.
Have a motion and a second to approve the interlocal cooperation contract with dispatches. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 31, discuss and take possible action on approval of the lease agreement with Keller Grain Incorporated Precinct 2. This lease is the property that the county purchased from Mr. Keller a year ago. Yeah, the original, and there was a term in there which would expired about the first, I think, of the month. And so this is updating that agreement, him paying us annually $3,000 and just a year at a time renewable. And because he still would like to continue using the property for now, and of course Commissioner Sitter doesn't have use for the property at the moment, so we'd like to leave him there. And this is, he did provide liability insurance for the project as well, so we'll have the copies of that. Maggie took care of getting the lease part of this agreement taken care of for us. So
I will make a motion that we approve the lease with Keller Grain.
second. We have a motion and a second to approve the lease agreement with Keller Grain in Precinct 2. Any other discussion?
Do you want me to get them to contact you to get this taken care of? It has your signature on it. That was all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, Jennifer, we'll do it. We'll just do it through the office. Jennifer will
Okay.
get in contact with
Good.
us. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 32, discuss and take possible action on approval of agreement with the Ennis Volunteer Fire Department. This is our annual agreement we do with them. The money is in the budget. And so we just need to ratify this again. Put it down.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement with Dennis.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with the Ennis Volunteer Fire Department. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 33, discuss and take possible action on acceptance of annual financial report from Medina County ESD number 2 for the year ending September 30th of 2022.
Will we approve the annual financial report from Medina County as number 2?
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the acceptance of the annual financial report for Medina County ESD number 2 for fiscal year ending September 30th of 2022. Any discussion on it? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 34, discuss and take possible action on declaring items from the following office as surplus and are salvage and authorized for disposal.
On your list, Commissioners, are items from pretrial. They're actually going to be surplus items that have been transferred to our office, and they're actually surfaces that we're going to repurpose so that we can use them for conference. Pretrial also had items that we're going to salvage. Precinct 1 had some items that they also declared as salvage, and Human Resources also had some salvage items. And those lists are in your packets.
Will we declare the items for the following office as surplus or salvage and authorize disposal?
Second.
I have a motion and a second that we declare the items listed as surplus or salvage. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. All right, we will do We're gonna mix it up this week, and we'll just start over here at the guys, so let's.
Precinct 4, we're trying to finish up chip sealing 4 miles of road. We should, as long as the weather cooperates, we'll be done Monday. Thank you for all the other precincts for their help. I've had drivers, and the paving crew, and everybody over there most of the week.
Precinct 3 is doing good, trying to let it rain.
How's that working out for us?
Working not real good.
Just quite busy in precinct 2. We got, either an engineer or a developer or a lawyer behind every bush. Precinct 2. They're hanging flags where you didn't even think there was a hanging flag.
That's pretty bad, you got to work behind the bush.
That's it.
Okay, so I want this actually in the paper for the residents that are driving through our construction sites to slow the hell down. We had a couple of guys that almost got ran over the other day just because people are too busy on their telephone or they're doing 60 miles an hour down a gravel road and then they look at us like we're the ones slowing them down. It's our fault. So if one of these employees gets hurt on a job site, it's not going to be nice. Or we're going to stop working on roads completely. I mean, we try to be as nice as we can and give fair warning that we're going to be there and we're the distraction. So.
I wish I'd have started on this end so we could have been the nice guy. Yeah.
Hey, when you go back the other way down the that's all I got to say.
Chief Cooks, Dr. Fitz, it matter like I know what we feel like every single day, every single moment of the day. So a better deal would just be to remind everybody, it doesn't matter what we're doing. If we're doing construction work or we have first responders on the road, we need to be respectful of all of it. We all need to slow down just a little bit, and I think everybody can
You gotta get
themselves
the
guilty of it.
Don't be nice and slow the hell down.
His quote.
I'm not putting that in the paper. I'll second that.
It's Easter, be nice.
I will not say.
I'm sorry, please slow down.
Yeah, please slow down.
Have a happy Easter.
Yeah.
Slow it all down and have it Easter. Slow down so we can all enjoy. Yes, that's a good idea.
Excellent. Okay, thank you everybody for being here this morning. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will be adjourned.
Motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Didn't think so. We are adjourned.
Of course. Yeah.
Happy birthday.